What's happening, guys? It's now called and today we're going to be checking out gaming on the new Gionee Elife E5. Now this is a new smartphone by the company and it's powered by a quad-core chipset. We also have a 720p AMOLED display, a very slim profile on the device, and a fixed storage of 16GB along with 1GB of RAM. The device promises decent specifications, but it all comes down to how it performs when it comes down to gaming. So let's start off with Virtua Tennis. In Virtua Tennis, we saw that the game was not stretched out, the characters were in place, and the overall touch response, the audio feedback, and the color reproduction on the display was fantastic. Watch a bit of the gameplay. The next game we check out is Dead Trigger, and Dead Trigger is also a sort of low to mid-range game, and in that we saw that the gameplay response was fantastic. Again, no blending of colors, no bleaching of the gun, and overall gameplay response is fantastic. Watch a bit of the gameplay. Now moving on to Real Racing 3, this game does not work properly on all devices. In fact, it is a pretty taxing game. Although it has been designed to work on all sorts of hardware, if it runs in full graphics, you'll see that in most devices it'll lag or it'll create some jitters. But on the E5 it works out just fine, and you have proper reflections from the sun, glare, shadows, everything is reproduced on the screen. It looks fantastic. Color reproduction is fantastic on the AMOLED display. So overall gaming feedback from the device when it comes down to Real Racing 3 is great. Watch a bit of the gameplay. The last thing we're going to check out is Modern Combat 4. This game has been updated to work on higher spec phones, and on this device as well it performs really smooth. We saw literally no lag from the device while playing this game. Touch response is great and overall gameplay feedback is fantastic. The speaker is loud enough to support gaming, and you can also do it via a set of headphones. In conclusion, the Gionee Elife E5 does most of the gaming pretty decently. In fact, it's pretty good at gaming. We're thoroughly impressed by the device's ability to do gaming. We saw literally no lag from the whole gamut of games, all the way down from Virtua Tennis to Modern Combat 4. And the device is able to handle a lot of games thanks to the 16GB storage capacity, so you can download and carry a lot of games. The only disadvantage we see is that we don't have a 32GB micro SD card slot, which will help in expandability. So you're restricted to the 16GB on board. But as far as gaming is concerned, we're pretty happy with the overall response from the device for gaming. If you have any questions or queries, do leave them in the comment section below. We'll be coming out with a full review of the Elife E5 soon enough, so stay tuned for that. Do check out iGyan.in and catch us on Facebook, Twitter, Google+. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/iGyan, youtube.com/iGyan TV for iGyan Networks. This has been Bharat Nagpal. Thank you guys for watching. What's happening, guys? This is Bharat Nagpal for iGyan.in, and today we'll be checking out the benchmarks on the new Gionee E5. It has a full HD display along with a front-facing 5 megapixel camera. We have an 8 megapixel camera at the back, both capable of full HD video. On the inside, we have a quad-core MediaTek chipset. We have 1 GB of RAM and 16 GB storage capacity. The device is a unibody device. So let's start off with a quadrant standard, and we'll look at the system information. Now you can see that this is the Gionee E5. We have an ARM v7 processor clocked at 1.5 GHz, 4 cores, and you can see that it's the MediaTek 6589. For memory, we have about 36844 free after setting up the device. Now, if you look at the display, we have a 720 by 1280 pixel display, a DPI of 320 by 320. You can see the GPU is a PowerVR SGX 544MP GPU. If we look at the sensors, we have a 3-axis accelerometer, proximity sensor, a light sensor, a gyroscope, orientation sensor, a 3-axis magnetic field sensor, rotational vector sensor, gravity sensor, and a linear acceleration sensor. So now let's run a full benchmark. You can see the full benchmark score is 4889, and if you want to look at the detailed information, you can look at that on the screen right now. Next thing we're going to do is run a Nina Mark II test. Now you can see that in Nina Mark, the device scores a 55.6, which is pretty nice. We're also going to run a full AnTuTu benchmark. Now we get a 5-star rating and a total score of 16,068 on AnTuTu, which is pretty impressive. The CPU is at 7467, GPU is at 4764, RAM is at 2930, input output is at 907. The last thing I'm going to do is run a multi-touch test, and what it appears is that the device has a 5-point multi-touch screen. So there you go, guys. This was a quick benchmark and hardware information video for the new Gionee E5. If you have any questions or queries, do drop them in the comment section below. And do check us out on iGyan.in. You can also catch us on Facebook, Twitter, Google+. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/iGyan, youtube.com/iGyan TV for iGyan Networks. This has been Bharat Nagpal. Thank you guys for watching.